I wanted to talk about Euphoria, which honestly, I feel people always say stuff and they like exaggerate or they say like this show is so bad. Everyone talks about it. But honestly, I really don't understand the excitement or hype behind Euphoria. I never did. I saw how accoladed it got, how Zendaya was winning Emmys for her performance. Like, she's a great singer. She's a talent, but there's just something about this entire show to me that is so odd. It's like the thing is, when you try to describe Euphoria, like, I can't describe it without feeling like I'm describing every other show about teens on drugs and having sex. Like, I would say, well, the characters are struggling. The main character suffered a loss and she's struggling. She's a drug addict at school, and it's about her friends who are all like having affairs with each other, I guess. Like, it just, I was so confused why everyone loves this show. And it's funny, I even talked to my cousin, and I think I kind of got a bit of why someone might like this. She was saying, "Oh, I loved the dynamic between Cassie and Maddie, and like some of them were so relatable." And I'm like, is that a good thing? But I really feel that when you're just talking about how to make a good show, there's just a difference between style and a stylish show or a show that's actually good. And I feel somehow Euphoria got grouped into this, category of prestige HBO TV. And it's funny because Sam Levinson now has a new show at the Idol, and everyone is saying about this show what I always thought about Euphoria, which is just like it's a show that is just there to sexualize women, to show people like on drugs suffering. There's nothing really it has to say. I mean, I think with Euphoria, there actually might have been a bit of a. Let's talk about this. I think Euphoria might have worked compared to The Idol because it had a character who was slightly more relatable. And I know I really don't like Rue Bennett. I think she's a very unlikable protagonist. That's the point, is what a lot of people say. She's not meant to be likable. But I just don't think any of the characters are likable. And I think people can actually understand her as opposed to The Idol, which just presents a pop star who has these like surface level problems that come up, and then someone's like tortured with a shock collar. Like it's just that show is so excessive and ridiculous. Where Euphoria is also excessive and ridiculous, but I guess people can accept it because it's in a high school teenage setting, and people like that. I won't lie, it has style. It has a couple. Like, I think the first season is somewhat interesting, just in how it presents the dynamics of its characters. It has good music. It has, and not just the title cards. I hate the title cards in Euphoria. They like spend like 15 seconds on the title card just to play the end of a song. It's so pretentious. Like, most title cards just come for 5 seconds and they're gone. This one stays like so a whole song can play out. It's honestly hilarious if you think about it. It's just overall a big show that's about, superficial presentation concealing lackluster substance. Let's talk about that. It's garnered significant popularity, but describing the show to someone, like I said, there's nothing except the cinematography. It has mundane love triangles. It has cliched storylines that can be found in numerous other teen dramas. It's also a little exploitative if you think about it. The major shortcoming here is its handling of sensitive themes, particularly drug addiction. Euphoria dedicates minimal attention to exploring Rue's struggles, relegating it to a mere subplot. The decision to feature only one special episode on HBO, by the way, it wasn't even an episode of the show, by the way. This was a special that HBO released that was just, you could clearly tell they shot it quickly. It was set in a diner. It wasn't part of the main show, but it actually gave more depth than any of the show did. And that's where Rue and Ali are talking about their lives in a diner. It's very pretentious, I want to say, because it's just an hour-long conversation in a diner where Rue is just sitting there. Zendaya, she is this apparently world-weary drug addict. She's just sitting in a diner while this man gives her life advice. And like it's very pretentious, but honestly, it's better than anything in the actual show. And that isn't even in the show. That's a special that HBO released. And yeah, just the fact that that's not even part of the show is so odd to me. By exploiting such themes such as addiction or there's other topics without offering a comprehensive exploration, the show risks trivializing important issues and reducing them to mere plot devices. People say the character of Rue herself, despite being a drug addict, does not require likability. However, the problems lie in the lack of attention given to her own arc, and it kind of serves as merely a spine to attach others' less compelling storylines. Rue narration feels so disconnected from her own personal journey. contributing to this unsatisfying viewing experience. I can see, people liked it. People like that. And I think Sam Levinson knows what he's doing when he starts each episode being about another character or introducing their struggles. But just the fact that Rue is our narrator is so odd because she's supposed to be this person caught up in her own world, yet she's just spending the whole show like shuffling around the hallways. This is another thing where I think Zendaya is a talent, but just in this show, it's funny to just watch her like mutter around the hallways or like trip over everything, and like that's her character, and it's supposed to be funny, or I don't know. I know it is tragic because she's an addict and she's suffering, but the show treats it like all over the place. It's odd because furthermore, Euphoria features a cast of characters who are generally unlikable, which fails to evoke any empathy from the audience. And like I said, it's exploitative. It ultimately falls into this trap of just using stylistic elements and shock value to compensate for its lack of substance. The show's emphasis on visual aesthetics and provocative scenes may initially captivate viewers, but it ultimately just kind of fails to justify the inclusion. It also has this issue with exploiting trans characters, which is one of the things I think, when I feel like people act like Euphoria is trying to, give people a voice or like drug addicts or like if you have some kind of problem, but really it's just using this as a platform to like show its cool style. Like, look, it looks like it's a music video. Look, we're in a theme park and there's a Ferris wheel and we're gonna have a cool shot of that while we show that like this girl is trying to like expose someone else. It's just so nothing if you really think about it, and that's what always bothered me about it. Euphoria introduces Jules, a trans character, yet it really fails to fully develop her relationship with Rue. The absence of an explanation regarding how they got together or what draws them to each other undermines the authenticity of that connection. I mean, I get it, some viewers don't really care, but I felt that Jules' character is merely being used as a plot device rather than being given the depth or attention she deserves. And that lack of exploration and justification kind of just shows how exploited the show can be. There's just this artificial love and lack of, rooting value. Jules and Rue lack that necessary emotional depth to kind of get you to be, compelled for them. There's just this lack of interest there. Also, the muddled integration of Cal's storyline. I thought you have a lot there with Cal. There's a narrative arc about him being a closeted gay man who, has sons, and they try to explore that by the end of season 2, but I feel that this is an intriguing and thoughtful concept, and it can, delve into the complexities of human nature and the struggles individuals face when, you're hiding your true identity. However, this storyline, within the broader context of a teen drama, feels so disjointed and muddled, and it really doesn't work when you're exploring his relationship with his son, Jacob Elordi. I think there's totally stuff to work here. It just feels like it's all over the place, and they're trying to, give you something that, oh, this is intriguing, but I really feel they're just trying to go with shock value. I mean, if you look at the way it's presented. And also, I found that the finale of this was so ridiculous. I mean, it's funny to me that the show is supposed to have a third season. Think about it. There was like 8 episodes in season 1, 8 episodes in season 2, and you had to wait like 3 years between seasons just for like softcore porn, which is just teens in high school, apparently. It's funny because I remember someone being like, this is just like kids in college having sex. I'm like, no, they're in high school. And they're like, what? Because it's really ridiculously over the top. And then the fact that the finale is very hilarious to describe. It's a school play of like recapping the show's events. And obviously you could be like, what school would like put on a play that's depicting this? But it's just so ridiculous. And I just was hoping it would end there. Like, okay, we're done. But apparently there's going to be a season 3. And I guess we'll be following them out of high school or these characters when they're graduated, when they're into the world. I don't know. But based on the first 2 seasons, I really don't know what you could explore. You had opportunities to explore all these complex themes, transphobia, homophobia. You could explore all this, but it just kind of puts it into shock value and like a cool picture box music video aesthetic. The fact that, like I said, only 2 specials, not even the actual show, explores this in a deep way is a problem. I mean, you should just actually have it in your show, not some side event that apparently happened and people don't even watch because they just want to watch the 8 episodes. I don't even think my brother watched those. I told him about them and I don't think he knew. So honestly, let me know what you guys think of Euphoria. Do you like it? Why do you like it if you do? And Let me know if you're excited for season 3. Thank you for watching.